can't pick up the phone right now, but if you could please leave your... Hi, you've reached Dr. Daniel Choi. I can't pick up the phone right now, but if you could please leave your name and message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Hey Doc, this is Andrew calling. I know we had set some time out aside to speak today, so I was just calling to uh, obviously make that happen. So just call me back whenever you get a chance, whenever you're free. I'm sure you got some patients running in and out. So I'll speak to you in a little bit, Doc. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Outside.
Yo, sir.
Yeah. Me? Oh, right now? Alright. Yeah, I'm about to go. I just want to know, I have to take the headshot, or I can just send a picture with my suit that we took with top?
You can just send a picture.
Alright.
Hello? How are you, Doc? How you been? How's your day today? Yeah. Yeah, I could imagine, man. I'm sure your patients come running in and out. How? Yeah. Yeah, I'm free right now. I'm free right now. I guess what I wanted to kind of do for this call was, just take the first, I guess, 2 or 3 minutes to kind of, just tell you a little bit about me, my experience from what you obviously have not read already. And then, and obviously what makes me different and all that type of jazz. And then what I really want to do after that is just kind of turn the tables on you and your business. And, I have some questions that I like to ask just to see if I could provide some value. And by the end of the call, if we feel like there's a fit here, then we'll take the next logical step. So, that's kind of like what I was planning for the call. Nothing really, just real informal, some questions, figuring out, probing, all that type of stuff. And then if we feel like we could do some stuff together, I'll put some stuff, and then we'll have another call after this. So that's what I was hoping to get out of this call, Daniel. Were you looking to get anything else that I might have missed? Okay, cool. So I know I sent you a video, and I sent you my kind of like my resume. Did you get a chance to read both, or did you just see the video, or just see the resume?
I saw both.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so a little bit about me. I've been in the digital marketing game for about 5, 6 years now. I actually worked with, like I said in the video, one of the top social media marketers in the world. That's kind of like where I got my start. And since then, I lived in LA and Beverly Hills and all that type of stuff. And then obviously when you're working, you think you're the man. So I decided to go freelance and start my own business. And since then, I've spent over $2 million in the last 3 years just on online promotions, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Work with clients in all type of industries, medical spas, restaurants, online courses, brick and mortar business, all this type of stuff. And obviously, when you're spending that much money, you have failures and you have successes. And I think the clients that I've had not only appreciate the insight that I bring, but it's also comforting knowing that when you've been through battles, that you know what to optimize when things aren't that home run out the gate, right? So we my kind of team and we've recently brought like a local business, 424 leads. It was kind of like a church client, and he wanted to get in front of other church leaders. So we set up a quiz. We got him 424 24 leads, and we do a lot of different stuff. Medical spa, I got them 127 leads in a month. So I do a whole lot of different things. So, the reason why I kind of like to take the first call and get to know you and your situation is kind of just to see, okay, what type of strategy, because everything's so customized in the marketing field that I can't just throw a package at you, right? That would be irresponsible of me just to say, hey, this is my, cookie cutter way of doing things, and either you fit in or you fit out. That's not really how I work. I like to kind of see, okay, does the doctor want to create some content? Is he just so busy that he can't create content? Because if, depending on those answers, the whole strategy switches, right? It's depending on your time, and the money depends on the strategy, right? If you want to invest more time than money, then the strategy differs than the opposite way. So that's kind of a little bit about me, and I gave you a lot of stuff to read over, so I don't want to kind of reiterate myself. But with that being said, Doctor, turning the tables over to you. I've been reading, number one, I've been reading your website, and I see you got your undergraduate from UCLA, right?
Yep.
Since I'm from Oregon, I'm not sure if we should be talking, because we got quite the rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but besides being that, I guess how long have you been in Texas?
So, I've been here for 7 years now.
Okay.
I graduated 2011. I moved down here that summer.
Right.
And just to give you a little background myself, I do listen to there's a lot of Ty Lopez stuff that I've actually listened to.
Really?
I know that Ty Lopez is a amazing social media marketer.
Got it.
Right. So I'm a periodontist. I do a lot of oral surgery. I just tell people, simply like I do oral surgery just because a lot of people don't know what a periodontist is.
Mm-hmm.
But I just tell you like quick background about myself.
Of course.
I've always been very business minded, and I do have a tendency to try to think like in a third person point of view and have empathy and all that stuff. So I'll come up with a lot of good marketing ideas or like know my marketing needs, but I'm not I'm not a social media marketer. I'm not all into like this digital marketing. So I have many ideas, and if you think about what I do in my business, and the reason why I'm actually starting to get more involved in this, and in my 7th year is because in my previous 7 years, I kind of did like what you did, right? So I was working for other people, and I was like a contractor going out there, and I finally decided to open up my office about a year ago. And I know that basically if you've been to a dentist before or, a physician or whatever, like, when you need a special need, for example, some sort of like oral surgery, you get referred over to a specialist, right? But a lot of these specialists are, they're old and, used to the traditional marketing ways, right? And like you market to the general dentist to have them refer to you, but I'm trying to change up the game a little bit and be like, well, let's market to the public through every means necessary and then get the patients, because nowadays people aren't looking, if they know that they're having wisdom teeth pain or they have a missing tooth, they don't necessarily always go to the general dentist to then get referred out to a specialist. They go and they do a little research on their own, and they go and find their own specialist, and they go straight there, And if anything, the general dentist is actually sometimes my competitor, because a lot of general dentists place their own implants or do their wisdom teeth, because in dentistry, there's no really laws like governing what you can or can't do. Like medicine, your family doctor is not going to go and do an open heart surgery on you, or leg surgery on you, or arthroscopic knee surgery. So, in all honesty, like it's almost like the general dentist is a little bit of my competitor. So, what I did was acknowledging that, like basically in about May of last year, I started doing a lot of, I hired actually she was a patient of mine. She did a pretty good job. She did a lot of SEO for my website. Our website started ranking and doing well, and I've been doing like a lot of AdWords. Now, obviously the AdWords can get expensive, primarily promoting, several things I do: laser gum surgery, dental implants, wisdom teeth. But I'm looking to try to get, I noticed a lot of my patient pool are older patients, and it's kind of funny because in the spare time when I come into an operatory, like the patient's just waiting, they're always on their Facebook, and then at other times they're also coming out there and they're like, leaving reviews on Facebook too. So, what I'm really trying to do is really build that social media marketing aspect, because I really think that it can really, if done right, it can be just as effective as, Google, SEO, and AdWords.
That's so funny that you say that. It's funny how the world works, right? First, we're on Facebook 5, 6 years ago, and the parents are like, "What's going on?" And then now, when we're on Instagram and Snapchat, all the old folks want to be on Facebook. It's like they're always 2 steps behind, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, right?
Right. Cool. So I guess with that being said, you hit on a lot of points that I was going to ask, right? So, the first thing that came to mind is like, okay, SEO, right? So you said that you had somebody who was doing that. How did that end up going? I know she said, you said she was a patient. Did that last long? Did she move away, or are you kind of doing that yourself
So
now?
actually, she was a little pricey, and on top of my AdWords budget, which was pretty freaking expensive considering how like new in business. I mean,
Right.
but you know what? Like, me versus the other guys, like I think that I was able to grow quickly because I know a lot of people are like spend $10,000 on marketing. Are you out of your damn mind? Like we're a new practice, But no, me, I know I got to market, right?
Right.
So I'd rather keep money in investing in the business and keep marketing so that we can, give patients that amazing experience and then have them, spread the word, right?
Right.
But so she was doing a great job, and she actually, was doing another line of business in starting December, basically, and she was just so damn busy that she stopped doing the SEO for me, which was fine because she did a hell of a job already in the first place, and we get a lot of our patients from our SEO also.
Right.
It's something that I'll investigate also. I'm up for it. There's nothing really wrong going with our AdWords campaign or SEO. We get a lot of patients right now, but right now I would absolutely love to supplement and go out there and just pick up a lot of new leads from Facebook or social media.
Perfect. And before we get to the social media stuff, I kind of like want to start with the stuff that's working or has worked in the past, and then we'll go kind of into the Facebook stuff and some ideas around that. Now, the PPC, it seems like maybe I'm mistaken here. Is that you who's running that yourself? Or are you managing the PPC yourself?
The PPC?
The PPC campaign, like the Google AdWords spend. Is that you who's doing that?
PPC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, it's like the PPC. Yeah, it's basically, we're not really even managing it anymore. Like it was already set up, and we tell you the truth, we haven't really been managing it anymore. I mean, it's just kind of set up, and like it's
right. Yeah, your auto spends and all that type of stuff, just to make sure they don't spend $100,000 in a month and things will go crazy.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So basically, you had an SEO lady who came in, and then you had doing some PP stuff. You're not really managing it, and it's kind of on autopilot at this point. So I think you said it's something that's really smart. So you said there's a lot of old people. So you said yesterday in the text message that you want to focus on. Let me see right here, dental implants, correct? And what was the other one? Wisdom teeth, right? So dental implants and wisdom teeth. So speak to me a little bit about that target audience. Is it the older people? Because obviously, the older people is a good thing, and getting them on Facebook, I think that's where they're there. But all these older people and the people on Facebook, are they the ones taking those two services that you kind of want to push right now?
So basically, let's talk about wisdom teeth first.
Right.
So, if you're talking about teenagers, like, okay, so we have spring break coming up. It's kind of like too late to be marketing to them right now for spring break. But, we got the busiest time of the year coming up, summer. Like, so how do we get those patients in the door?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to go out there and market to 16, 17-year-olds? Hell no, right? Because they're not the ones making decisions.
They got the money, right?
Right. So you got to market that towards the mothers, right? So, if we could target like the mothers and, I was talking to some other guys also, regarding this project. They were talking about, all right, so what is it exactly what's Facebook filters, but you can't just filter by people who have wisdom teeth, right? So you got to look for mothers who have a certain age that probably have that 15 to 18-year-old kid, and then who are the most likely people that would need the wisdom teeth out, right? But to tell you the truth, I don't know what the strategy would be for that, but long story short, we got to target the mothers in a certain age range. And then also, we get a lot of people that Google us, like in their 20s or 30s, that just like suddenly experiencing, wisdom teeth pain. So they want to find us. So I know that if you try to throw out a net, like cast a net for that, you're almost kind of like doing a branding thing so that if in the event one day that their wisdom teeth are hurting, then they're going to, remember your name. But the biggest money maker for us are the dental implants.
Okay.
So I don't know if you're familiar, but being out in New York, you're probably going to see sometimes commercials on TV, Clear Choice, or like just dental implants, like all these companies out there, like marketing to older people,
yeah.
like you're right. They just want that beautiful smile, right?
Yeah.
So we see a lot of and what I see basically in the environment is there's a lot of companies out there with deep pockets that are doing a lot of TV commercials, but nobody's doing social media marketing.
Yeah.
And with the amount of the older population that's on the internet and Facebook, my thought process is, and they're savvy. Some of them are actually finding us through Google and AdWords and all that stuff. But if we can go out there and we can get them with a Facebook media message, like a marketing campaign, some ideas that I've had for myself are I really need to get active on my YouTube channel and really do a lot of online consults, talking about the pros and cons of different treatment options and just kind of becoming that trusted source for information.
Yeah.
So my reputation can go up. I've been thinking about this for the last 2 years, but I've become very busy, so it's very hard for me to focus on that. So I really know that I need to go out there and really create my content, and create this a video blog talking about different topics about dental implants. What can go wrong, complications, when should you consider implant overdentures versus hybrid dentures, what you should be looking for in your doctor, all these questions, right, that these people might be asking, and just kind of create a series of videos.
Yes.
So I thought about that. But going back to the Facebook, and then the approach, for example, I have the console I just got out of also was for laser gum surgery. I mean, I think that if we could come out with some content talking about the dangers of periodontal disease and heart disease and the link between stroke or abscess and brain abscess and all these potential systemic issues,
right,
that if we can create social media content to create awareness, maybe we can get more people hitting our site and stuff. So I've talked to several people from Upwork, and they're talking about creating the landing pages and going through all this in Facebook and all that stuff. But I mean, your YouTube video kind of caught me by caught my attention because I'm getting hit up a ton of times, right? With all these requests for a meeting. And then also, it kind of caught my attention, your resume, the way you format it, and also, working with Ty Lopez, and
right,
that guy's no joke in regards to social media, obviously.
Right.
So, I'm kind of in my industry, I'm trying to think outside the box, instead of trying to go with the tried and true, traditional marketing, method,
right,
and growing over time. Yeah, I know I can do that. I can be successful. I'm a good surgeon, and I treat everyone with respect, and I have good customer service, and my ratings are awesome, and all that stuff. But I'm impatient. I'm trying to grow my business as fast as possible. So because nobody's doing that, I'd love to find someone who knows what the hell they're doing online.
Got it.
And so, if this works, then the budget can go up. It all depends on my ROI. I'm not going to have a fixed expense in regards to how much I'm going to spend on my marketing budget. I mean, if it works, it works.
Yeah. It pays for itself at that point, right?
Right.
Which is the point. You want to bring in somebody who's paying their own check, right? If you're paying me X amount of dollars and you're getting ×5, well, then that's a win-win for everybody. So I must say, with everything you just said, you stole my thunder. So it's pretty obvious that you're committed to the content part of it. Or at least you've been thinking about it. Now, I guess how committed are you to doing it? Because thinking about it is one thing, but if you're busy, right? So you have some great ideas as far as creating the content, and then I would help you structure it as far as saying, hey, this week let's create a content around this topic, or let's make it a little bit more engaging by doing this. Let's use some more props. So I know you've been thinking about it, but I guess how committed are you to it if we were to go ahead and move forward, just so I know what I can work with?
So for example, I was talking about it with my girlfriend last week. I was I was thinking about it all the time, and so I was okay, you used your laptop the other day to create your content. That message to me, right? So I was last year I was experimenting with my MacBook. Do I do it like this or that? And I was okay, well maybe I should use my GoPro. But I was where the hell do I film, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm actually creating my new office is actually going to be just standard. Like, I'm gonna make it a nice, beautiful office, and I'm gonna like create so much damn content with this office and just make it that luxury surgical center, right, where you're gonna come and get your dental implants or whatever, wisdom, whatever it's gonna be. My current office, it's also new, but I hate the way it's designed, and it's not the impression I want to send out about me.
Mm-hmm.
And this new one will be done in 6 months. So I was like, well, I got a really nice home office, so we're just talking, like, we're going to just make it appear as if it's my actual, like, consultation or whatever.
Right.
So, I'm going to use my GoPro, and, I'm going to try to get the audio in there, right? Just try to, like, really go and create that content. But, like, that's to me, that's kind of like front end stuff. I mean, yeah, I can create that, like, that topic, or I can talk about complications of wisdom teeth and what to be looking for, like, and all these, like, I can create so many damn videos. However, I just, now it comes to the Facebook aspect. Who's going to go out there and, like, who's going to really promote this content to the right audience so that we can really draw in, like, all those leads.
Cool. So, Daniel, let me ask you a question. So, you said you had a consult just before this call with laser gum surgery. Was this your first time speaking to her, or did she call in first, or did she, like, walk me through that kind of pipeline with somebody, like your traditional pipeline? Somebody calls, they come in. Is this like, how does that usually work?
So, let me look right here. So, we always record what the referral source was. So, this one was actually a patient referral. Somebody referred her to me. And we couldn't find that patient, like, that she was talking about in our database. However, what we do is they call in, they speak to our front desk, and then we line up the consultation. Consult comes in, we take a 3D scan, and then we basically show them a few videos about, the periodontal disease, and then I come in, I go through the mouth, make a diagnosis, and then I, basically answer all the questions for them. But most of our leads are either going to come in through, like, a patient or, like, something like that, a referral from another doctor's office, or our online referrals are probably about 40 to 45% of our practice every month.
Cool. So I guess where I was getting at was so obviously she gets referred, she calls, she comes in, she has the consult. Does she have to come back for the results, or is that all in one process?
No. So basically, at that time, we treatment plan them, we diagnose them, we treatment plan them, we show them the financials, and then we book them at that appointment.
Okay,
sometimes patients want to go home and talk to a family member or discuss it with their spouse, and then they schedule, but most of the time it's scheduled on the spot. Got
it. So I'm glad that you brought up this point because it shows me that you're savvy. You said, okay, Andrew, I want to push these two services. I know even though some of these services are geared toward the younger avatar, I need to promote to the parent because they're the ones paying the check. Now, Andrew, how the hell do I make, creating content is one thing, but how do I make sure it's getting in front of in front of a parent that has a child with this issue? Because it's impossible. There's nothing you can press on Facebook that's going to say, hey, promote this to a parent that has a child with wisdom teeth, right? This is impossible. So it's funny because I just onboarded a client, and she has kind of the same issue. So she's an acne esthetician, and she has the same issue that you're having, right? She wants to get in front of parents who have children with acne. It's much similar like you. It's impossible to find a parent who has a child with acne, right? You can't press no button to find that. So she came to me with the same issue. She was like, Andrew, what do I do? Like, I'll do whatever. I'll create the content. I'll do whatever I have to do. What do we do? So I was like, hey, her name's Kelly. So I said, Kelly, what you have to do is you have to make people raise their hand first, right? So what can we do in step one, kind of like you, right? In your consult, people have to call in, and then people come in and they get the value. What can we do to make a parent raise their hand? Now, for her, we did a sweepstakes because her offering is a lot cheaper than yours, right? I was on your website. I think it's $1,500 for a dental implant, correct?
Yeah, and I don't want to interrupt here, like get you off your point, but just to let you know in context, if you don't have insurance and you want a dental implant, it's about $2,300, so it's a significant savings, right?
Right.
Now, when it comes to wisdom teeth and you don't have dental insurance, it goes to about it literally ranges from $2,500 to $3,500 a case.
Right.
So, yeah, we are like dirt freaking cheap compared to other people.
Got it.
But but the thing is, about sales, it's not all about discounting. You got to create value, and you can charge whatever the hell you want. But
exactly.
You got to get an audience, right?
Exactly. So to kind of piggyback off what you're saying about the value is we want to promote to that demographic, right? So if somebody has a child, I guess the child that getting the wisdom teeth treatment are what, like 15, 14, around, like what's the age of the normal?
Yeah, like basically like 14 to 18.
14 to 18. So their parents are probably like 40 to 50 or maybe a little bit 35 to 45. How old do you think of the parents that we need to market to?
Yeah, like something, now demographics changing, right? But I'd say like 35 to 50.
Okay, so 35 to 50. So we want to promote to 35 to 50 women because, the dad ain't doing shit. You know that.
Right. Of course, right.
So what we want to do, and I'm not sure if you know this with Facebook, is that whether it's a sweepstakes, which I probably wouldn't do for you because your ticket is so high, is I would want to film either testimonials or create some type of offering that's low barrier, low commitment, just to get somebody to raise their hand. So for example, in Facebook, what you can do is if you show somebody a video, right? Let's say you put a video and you promote it to everybody in a 20-mile radius of your office, and it's a testimonial about a parent who brought her child, or about a child, whatever that story is going to be. And that's probably going to be my next question as far as like what are the pains and what are the kind of the consequences of not getting a wisdom teeth removed. But whatever that is, let's say we create that story, a video testimonial, and it's shot nice, it's whatever, and we promote that to parents. Well, the thing about that is that the only person who's going to watch a testimonial or a video about their child getting wisdom teeth removed, or the success story or the horror story, whatever we create, is probably going to be another parent with a child in a similar situation. Wouldn't you agree? Like, or why would you waste your time watching that if it's not relevant? Now, what you can do in Facebook is you can retarget everybody who's seen 50% of a video, 75% of a video, 90% of a video, because that tells me as a marketer, okay, this person spent 90%. So if it's 5 minutes, right? Let's say she spent 4 minutes and 30 seconds watching this video that's about a child getting her wisdom teeth removed and all the pains and all the frustrations of going to another doctor's office, all that type of stuff. Well, chances are she's a parent who's been going through that same decision. So now what we would do is we'd create another video that's a little bit more about the sales, a little bit more about the content, like you said, like the how-tos or whatever, and then we'd retarget. So it's kind of like an email sequence, but it's on Facebook and it's video, right? So we start by, and again, I would probably want to draw it out because your eyes are probably glazing over because this is hard to explain over a phone. But basically, we want to start with a story first, right? Because stories sell, and facts, facts tell, stories sell. So we want to start with a story or something like that, testimony. We don't want to be aggressive with the sales. We just want people to raise their hand. Now, once we get people to start raising their hand, i.e. watching the video, then we can shoot another video and just target the people who've seen 90% of the video, right? Because like you said, you don't want to cast your net to everybody in a 90-mile radius who's 35 to 50, a female. You'll spend out the wazoo, and that's not what we want to do. We want to qualify the leads along the path. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, or did I lose you?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, do you have a lot of case studies about as far as the people you want to get in front of, right? So if you want to get in front of that mom who has a child who's 13, 14, 15, have you had a lot of those patients within the last year or so?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I guess if you want to, if you think about it, like wisdom teeth, right? So if you're a parent, right, you're probably not thinking about all the other, if you get your wisdom teeth out when you're older, there's a potential for jaw fracture or this or that or some other sort of nightmare, right? But
talking about you said if you're a parent, if you don't get your child's wisdom tooth removed at a young age, there's chance for a jaw fracture.
Yeah, if they got them out later, or here's the big thing, right? You don't want to screw up your kids' braces, right? So you just invested $5,000 in getting their braces done, you want to get that all jacked up, right? Mm-hmm. So that's another marketing message that you send out, because you're hey, protect that investment, get the wisdom teeth out, right? Another thing also that worries patients, if I ask you parents, if I ask you what fathers mothers about is they're having surgeries that get sedated, right? And you might have heard of horror stories where a kid died, right, during a sedation. So promoting the safety of the practice with board-certified surgeons, because there's a lot of Joe Schmoes out there taking out wisdom teeth who don't know what the hell they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. So basically, promoting surgeon, the facility, and
right.
The training of the surgeon. So
right.
That would be like another like marketable aspect of me.
Right. So now when I write copy, because I write a lot of copy, the first question we have to ask is the state of awareness, right? So I've never had a wisdom tooth, in my life. So when it comes to the parent and the stage of awareness, how does a parent know that their child has a wisdom tooth? Because what I'm thinking, again, I'll let you answer, but yeah, I guess I'll let you answer that first. How does a parent know, right? Because that's the person we're talking to.
So traditionally, like your kid's going to the dentist. I mean, like then you're like the dentist might tell them sometimes like, oh, you should little Johnny needs to get his wisdom teeth out now, or if they don't bother him, then don't worry about it. But the other thing is that it's just an assumption, right? Like they had wisdom teeth, and they know that everybody has wisdom teeth, but the orthodontists, right? For example, they do braces on kids, but they just spent like $5,000 getting their braces done, and or the orthodontist perspective, they don't give a shit if your kid gets your wisdom teeth taken out, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, I got my money. Like if your kid, like little Johnny, fucks up his teeth now, like then that's your problem, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's I'm always thinking about marketing, right? So I've always thought too, like, what the hell can I do to get some damn like orthodontist to refer to me too?
Right.
Other than outright bribing them, but so I that to answer your question, I think parents just assume that their kids have that they have wisdom teeth, and also that maybe the orthodontist is going to say something about it after they're done with the braces. But again, in regards to marketability thing, like I think that one thing that works really good is like, hey, like protect that investment on the kid's braces, right? Mm-hmm. Johnny needs to get his wisdom teeth out,
Right.
So.
Right. And the people who come to the doors, right? The people who have paid you to do those wisdom teeth removals. I know you mentioned obviously they probably come through insurance, and they probably have a list of doctors near them to go to. But
right.
how do most people find you besides like the SEO and stuff like that? They come in, like, what's their issue? Is it like Johnny has been having a toothache? Like, I guess what's that triggering event that finally made the parent stop procrastinating and come?
So usually teenagers won't have like pain suddenly. It's usually like in their when these kids are like in their 20s or like in their 30s, where they're like, shit, like this, I've had a pain, like I had wisdom teeth pain, and it would come and go, and then finally like it happens again like a year later, and they're like, you know what, screw it, I need to get these damn wisdom teeth out.
Right.
So those patients would just kind of like, they're not living under their like parents' household anymore, right? So now they got to like go out and like SEO, look for somebody, hit an AdWords ad, mm-hmm. see my deal, and they call us and they come in.
Got it. Okay, so here's the situation. So you're saying that you don't really experience the pain until you're a little bit older. Therefore,
right.
the mom is not having an urgent need because the child's not necessarily in pain because they don't get in pain until they're older. So what we need to do is we need to create such an interest and sell such a compelling story that makes the parent want to get it done now. Even though there's not an urgent need for it. That's basically what we're saying, right?
Right, basically, yeah. I mean, again, that's kind of like when it rolls back to like the whole every mother, like I think the most compelling reason out there is really the ortho thing. I really do. It's like you just spent $5,000 on your kid's braces over took him every month to get his braces done for 2 to 3 years. Like, for God's sake, just pay the $300 copay and get his wisdom teeth out.
Now, how does that work? Right, I have braces, and if I have braces, again, I never had braces either. If I have braces, you can still take out my wisdom tooth without it messing up. Because I guess when I'm hearing you, it's like, wouldn't that mess up my investment? Because wouldn't the teeth be different? Right? And this is probably, this is probably what parents think too.
Right. So you can take out the wisdom teeth during the course of treatment or after the course of treatment. But yeah, I mean, if we could really send that message out there to those parents and just kind of freak them out,
right?
That'd be good.
Right. Cool. And I guess before we wrap up here, what the orthodontist? So I got that number 1 on my board as far as messaging. What other messaging? Because obviously we know pain is a huge driver, but it seems like these kids are not necessarily in pain because they don't experience that until they're 20, 30.
Right.
So what
right?
other reasons, right? So pain would be like you said. This is why it's such a compelling reason because you already spent 5-10 grand on braces, so it would be a shame to
Right.
lose that, right? So that's the pain you're bringing
Right.
with. Is there any other pain points for a parent right now?
Sometimes like kids will feel it sometimes, but it's very like not really like often.
Right.
And if you want to like come to like, listen, if you're like if you're a parent and you're financially strapped, right?
Right.
You're kind of, you can almost be like, you know what, screw it, like I don't have money for your braces. You're just gonna have to get your own braces when you're older, right?
Exactly.
And the same thing almost can happen with wisdom teeth too. It's just like, well, you know what, screw it, I did your braces, but then you can take care of your like wisdom teeth someday on your own. But that logic doesn't really fly because shit, you already just spent $5,000-$6,000, so you might as well just pay the extra $500 and seal the deal and just get his wisdom teeth taken out, right? So that's what I think is the marketing standpoint is just like, just hey, like just like finish what you started, right?
Perfect. And then we know that they're qualified because they already spent the money on the braces, so they can probably afford the copay for your services.
Yeah. Would you want to like create a poll of like, who's taking their kids' wisdom teeth? I don't know anything about Facebook marketing. I don't know, but the very little I like messed around with Facebook marketing. What I basically did was I just sent out like an ad out to like a broad like net like I picked a certain age range like in a certain like city, and I just kind of like saw some things that I thought maybe some parents would be. But
right.
like the wisdom teeth thing is great. But also like for example, like the implant dentures. If you do a little research on implant supported dentures, also another key word would be all on four.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like if you look up this company called Clear Choice Dental Implants, clearchoice.com,
mm-hmm.
you'll see basically who my competitors are. But I would really love to like get more of those leads into my office, because if I can get those leads from my office, then I can really like help out my business would grow exponentially. So like the wisdom teeth thing is great because summer's coming up, but then I got to do 10 cases of wisdom teeth for every one implant patient.
Got it. So can you talk to me a little bit about that, right? So, that's actually a great point. So wisdom teeth is good for the summer, but the dental implants, well, I guess right now, if we were to go forward right now in the near future, what would be the top priority? Would it be the wisdom teeth, or since we have a couple months, would it be the dental?
So that's a good question. So to tell you the truth, I know it's early March and like spring breaks like basically in the next 2 weeks.
Right.
What I would tell you is like if we could get something going in preparation, because parents are actually in the next few months will be booking their kids' wisdom teeth extractions, right? It's not like they start booking in July for August. But there's a lot of parents that are out there that are going to be booking for the summer already. So I would really like to focus on wisdom teeth, and kind of see like how effective this Facebook thing is.
Got it.
But let's keep in mind, I think we got like mothers on there, like let's say that 35 to 50-year-old mother on there on Facebook. But man, we got a lot of old people on Facebook too, right? So I really want to get those old people in for these implant denture consults, because we can like, what I love is like they're kind of like your grand slam, because they can turn into like a $10,000 procedure.
So talk to me about your database, because these dental implants, right? Are these for this procedure? Is it usually somebody who's coming in brand new, or is it somebody you've already had a procedure with that needs like a next step for the dental implant?
So they could be like a variety of people, because they could have gone to like their dentist and they were told, hey, you need a dental implant to replace this one missing tooth. Okay, and then they, like those patients might come to me because they got a quote already from their dentist, or they were referred to another dentist, and then they, typically what we see is these patients, like, Google for themselves, and, a lot, like nowadays, people don't just take their, their dentist or their doctor's word, like all the time. They're like, you know what, like, it's like listening to a friend for like a restaurant, like recommendation. You're like, okay, cool, I took your recommendation, now I'm gonna go Yelp it, right?
Right.
Like these patients are going out there and they're getting like these, consults with another surgeon, and they're gonna have to come in and have a consult with me. And a single dental implant is great, but it's only $1,500. What I really love are these patients that are like missing, like have a lot of bad teeth, or are missing their teeth, and they're just really unsatisfied with their dentures, and they want to come in and they want to get this implant supported denture, or like this implant option that they saw in these TV commercials, right? Where, I mean, these TV commercials are ambiguous. They're just talking about the lifestyle and how happy and confident you are in your smile. And these people are just seeing it, and it has something to do with dental implants. They don't even know what the hell it is that they're going in for. But, you know, they just kind of create, like, that's basically the marketing strategy for Clear Choice. But basically what Clear Choice does is they take out these patients, and that's what I would encourage you to do. Like, just do a little research into Clear Choice and see what exactly that they do. But, you know, they go in there and they take out all the patient's teeth and they'll put implants that same day. But, you know, and, you know, do some sort of implant-supported denture. But that's basically what, you know, like I would be doing. And those are the cases I love because those are really the ones that are really great bang for your buck. I mean, we, you know, in 3-4 hours, we can basically generate the same amount of revenue that we would have had to work 10 hours for doing wisdom teeth all day.
Right. Perfect. And one more question about this before I swing back to the wisdom teeth and we kind of wrap up. These people who have their whole mouth kind of just messing up, those are kind of just once. You can't really predict that, right? That's that.
Reception kind of cut off to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was on mute the whole time. Yeah. So, So one more question about the dental implants before I wrap around to the wisdom teeth. These people who get that big procedure because they have a lot of teeth missing. That's just how rare or how often is that?
That's actually pretty often, man.
Really?
There's a lot of patients that. Yeah, and then like it's not all or nothing, right? Like sometimes we get patients that come in that need to get 1 implant. Sometimes they come in, they need 3 or 4 implants, or sometimes they need to come in, they need to get like all their teeth taken out and get like 2 implant-supported dentures, you know? Right.
Cool. And then for the last question with the wisdom teeth, would your customer? So the database. You said you have a database. How many people I would say in the past year have come and done wisdom teeth procedures with you? How many parents?
Oh, like a lot.
Would you be open to surveying them in the sense where maybe I could get somebody to send however we do it, but like a personal email saying, hey, can I ask for your advice, and we can get some data on it. That way we can have something. Because what I would want to do is I'll take your word for the author for the kind of the braces strategy, but I would want to test that against a different message, and I think the best people to get that would be the actual patients, right, that are doing it, that we want to get in front of. So that's kind of my idea, because I definitely want to try the braces meshing as far as you already spent this money on the braces, and we could find some statistics and kind of frame that properly. But I'd want to test that against something that I don't even think we're thinking about right now. And I think the best place to get that would be now. How do you feel about that? Like, have you ever polled them?
That's fine. I mean, I'm sure like a lot of our. I mean, we really focus on like delivering like amazing customer service to the patient. So we literally like coddle the patients, and so a lot of our patients like are the mothers are super happy. So I mean, I'm sure like a lot of them would be like helpful. But I mean, let me be honest. Like you sit there and you ask people for a review, and they're like, "Oh yes, I appreciate everything you've done, and this and that. I'll definitely do it." And they go home and they don't do it.
Of course. Cool. So this is what I think we'll do, because I have some ideas, and I think it'd be better for me to kind of draw it up visually. Just as far as I think your main question was like, okay, I have no problem creating content, but how can I structure the content in a way where I know I'm being effective, not just talking just to talk, right? So what I want to do is kind of create like a content funnel in a sense where because I have a strategy for what type of content I want to create and when, right? I want to show new people certain types of content, and then I want to show people who've seen you before different types of content, right? So I wouldn't go out to a cold audience with a sales message necessarily. I would go out with a story or something like that, and then people who see your story, then I'd retarget them, because you know about retargeting. Are you familiar with retargeting? About showing people who've seen you before, like if somebody comes to your website, you can show them messages to people who've been on your website. Are you familiar with like retargeting?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. So I would start going to a cold audience with one message, and then people who get more familiar with you, I would get them closer to a sale, right? So obviously that content is going to be a little bit different, right? I wouldn't go to a cold audience necessarily with your how-to content, because you say you're going to do a lot of content about how to do this and do that, Well, I wouldn't necessarily go out to a cold audience with that, because they don't care, right? They want to hear about the benefits and the story and what to avoid. And then once they know that, then we could go into how-to content, and then we could get them on sale. So I kind of want to draw that up for you. with some practical keyword search that I'm gonna do some research, like you said. And I'm like, okay, here's a potential topic we can talk about, and then we can kind of fill that in there. And then I'll draw up some mock ads for you, and then I'll just kind of just walk you through the process. And then I guess at the end of that call, I'll have some feedback from you, and then we can kind of get started from there.
Okay.
Cool.
That sounds great.
Okay, cool. So how is your schedule looking like this week? I probably would need about 2 or 3 days to kind of put this together. How is your Thursday looking like?
I think I should be pretty free after 4 o'clock.
Cool. After 4 your time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's okay, cool. So let's do you. All right, cool. So I'll send you a calendar invite for Thursday at 4:30 Central. Or you want to do 5? Because I know you probably got to wrap up.
4:30 Central is probably better.
Okay, cool. So I'll send you a calendar invite for Thursday. That's the 8th at 4:30.
Okay.
Central. Is there anything else that you maybe questions you have asked me? That way I can make sure that I speak about them on Thursday. Because I would hate to. Cause I would hate to assume that.
It's just pretty much like what's like sums it up is like the wisdom teeth and the dental implants. Just really
cool.
Creating that message and you using whatever technique possible to go out there and do it. Those are kind of like the biggest money makers.
Cool. So now. Just so I could be transparent. So wisdom teeth and dental implants are 2 different services. So that obviously they're 2 different clients and 2 different messaging. So just to help me make sure I'm on the same page, would you want to start with one campaign of just the wisdom teeth first, or like just help me understand the urgency? Because usually what I do for clients is that I start with just one product first, because everybody wants to sell the whole kit and caboodle. But help me understand like where you at as far as urgency. Because I know we have summer coming up, and you also want to do the home runs with the dental implants. So help me understand as far as how we should prioritize this.
I think it's interesting because like let's say it didn't work and we struck out, right?
Right.
It's still like March here, so like I think the most effective thing to would probably be dental implants, just because I know there's a lot of old people out there on Facebook, and it's such a good thing for your buck, and it could really drive our like volume. That even if we sent out and we tried like a wisdom teeth thing, like starting like mid-May, that I still think we would be okay.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you want to focus on dental implants for the short term, and then we can then move on to wisdom teeth.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And so like again, like just to kind of give you a bigger sense of what I do, like if you looked at Clear Choice, and then like if you like were to Google Clear Choice, I'm sure right off the bat you're gonna see all these other competitors that like have pulled up like their AdWords are gonna pop up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll be able to see basically like what exactly I'm talking about with implant supported dentures.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, there's 4 people right now right here competing on AdWords just for Clear Choice. So okay, dope. All right, cool. All right, doctor. I will talk to you on Thursday. Do you have a computer at the office, right, that we can kind of get in front of, because it's probably gonna be more visual.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So so be in front of the computer. I'll send you like a join me link, and then we'll go through some slides and stuff like that. And I probably would need to dissect some information from you. That way, when we start, I don't have to keep on hassling you and getting stuff out your head.
Right. Okay. Sounds awesome.
I'll talk to you in a couple of days. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.